So I kind of wanted to touch on a couple of things in this video. The first thing is SD cards. Now, SD cards are never something that I've really spent a lot of money on, mostly because the cameras that I've used in the past, like the EM1 Mark II, the GH3, G85, all of those lower end Panasonic cameras, even the original Blackmagic Pocket when I had it, or like the S5, I didn't really need super beefy SD cards. The ones that I use are the SanDisk Extreme Pro. These are the V30 cards, and they write at 200 megabits per second. These have always worked for me just fine. But what I found with cameras, even like the GH5 or my S5 IIX, shooting in the all-I codecs, you need a faster card. Now, when I started looking into higher end cards, I always knew that they were kind of expensive and I just have never needed them. I don't know, spending like upwards of $200 to $300 on an SD card was just really, really hard for me to deal with. So I figured, okay, why don't I just start out looking for just the bare minimum type of card that I need for cameras like my GH5 and the S5 IIX to shoot in the all-I 400 megabits per second. And that's when I landed on the Lexar V60 cards. Now, back when the GH5 came out, I think that Lexar was starting to go out of business. It looks like they've been back now and they're doing fine. But you know, Lexar was always just a company that I didn't really think about. But Lexar had this V60 card that could write at I think 250 megabits per second, and it was a V60 card UHS2. So I figured, why not give it a shot? I looked at the reviews. Everyone says that you can shoot consistently with the 400 megabit per second codec on the GH5, and the S5 IIX is a very similar all-I codec. So I thought I'd give it a shot. It was $36.99 on Amazon, and it seems to be working fine. I'm shooting in all-I 4K 400 megabits per second, and it seems to be working just fine, which is pretty cool. I've always liked the all intra codec. My old GH3 had it at 72 megabits per second, but I mean, it edits really quickly and it, just gives you a little bit more detail in your shot. So, being able to shoot it is, pretty nice, especially if you have a slightly older MacBook like I do. The all intra codec just is a little bit easier on your editing system. And I'm sure that as I get higher end cameras, I'll probably need to start investing in like the V90 cards. But for what I'm doing right now, which is just basically YouTube videos and just little short spec pieces, this V60 Lexar card works fine, and I'm probably going to buy another one. $36.99, you really can't beat that. Something else that I have been thinking about recently is just if it makes sense to have two cameras with different lens mounts. I have the Panasonic GH5, which is what you're seeing me on right now, and my trusty S5 IIX. And I love this camera. It's basically does everything that I need it to do. The lens that I have on here is the Sigma 28-70, which is my favorite lens ever. And, have it rigged out a little bit, but I also have my GH5, and this is the Sigma 16 millimeter. And I also ended up picking up this Sigma 56 millimeter just because both the 56 and the 16 are weather sealed, which I really like. But these are both micro four thirds lenses, and I'm not gonna be able to use them on my L mount camera, obviously. As I get more and more lenses for these different systems, like, does it really make sense to start collecting both? I'm not a big speed booster fan. I used to use those back in the day, back when like they were really popular, but I don't know. I've just never really been a huge fan of putting speed boosters on my camera and then using these big lenses. It just kind of defeats the purpose of having a nice, small, compact camera. I don't know. There's part of me that's like, maybe I should just pick one. Like maybe when the new GH7 comes out, maybe I'll forego my S5 IIX and get the GH7, or maybe I should just say goodbye to micro four thirds once and for all and just switch completely to the L mount system. Maybe get another S5 IIX and just, have two full frame bodies. I don't know. That's just something that I've been thinking about a lot recently, because as time goes on, I'm going to be collecting like cinema lenses. This is the 14 millimeter by 7 Artisans, their Vision series, I believe. And I'll have a video on this coming out, relatively soon on my main channel. And even though I know that I can make a GH5 work, and I know that the GH7 or whatever they're going to call it when it comes out, it'll be great. But I don't know, it's really weird for me to have two vastly different sensor sizes and different lens mounts. Micro four thirds is on the smaller end of sensors when it comes to like professional cameras. The S5 IIX has a full frame. For most people, that's a large format sensor, unless you're talking about like the, Fuji's medium format stuff. But for most people, full frame is like a nice big sensor. I'm always kind of jealous of the Sony shooters that have an APS-C camera and then a full frame camera, and they can use lenses on both of them. I can't do that with my Micro Four Thirds and my full frame camera. So I don't know. That's just something that I've been thinking about. I don't really know what the point of me sharing it on this channel was, but I just like to think out loud sometimes. And, maybe you'll have some thoughts that you can share with me in the comment section below. But yeah, anyways, that was all I kind of want to talk about, mostly about the $36 Lexar card that works out just fine for shooting in the all intra codec on the GH5 and the S5 IIX. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you want to. Yeah, have a great day. Later.